There are many books, articles, and people who just tell you, choose to be happy. But what does that mean, really? And how can you be happy when you've been abused and belittled so much in your life? It seems like happiness is less of a choice and more of something that just happens to you. When we've been hurt and we hold on to resentment, we unknowingly become our worst enemy. It's easy to say, I'm angry because that person hurt me. So then we begin to justify the pain we have been through. We inflict pain onto others. And it's true that you have been through some kind of pain, and it's very valid, all the experiences you went through. It matters. It needs to be addressed. But when we become so bitter that we harbor all of this hate inside of us, we then begin to take it out on others, and then we inevitably become our worst enemy because then we begin to hurt ourselves. When we've been through emotional abuse, you can't see the scars that have been placed on you. At least you can't see them physically. They're there, but they're emotional. There's no scratch, there's no physical proof to show that you are in pain. You can go for years with all this pain, and no one will ever notice, or at least that's what we think. When someone successfully tries to get us angry and does, or we get easily offended, these are usually signs that we have dealt with emotional abuse. These reactions show that we have been emotionally abused in some way, how we behave and how we communicate with the world around us. So, like a scar that's physical, it shows that we've been hurt. But if you got hurt in the same place where the scar was, you are more likely to receive a wound, or the wound opens up again right where the scar was formed. And this is the same way with emotional scars. So it's usually the same things that can open up that pain again. Your reactions are a primary indicator of how you think and how you feel about yourself. Usually, this means that if someone says something that rubs you the wrong way, your first reaction may be to defend yourself. Anger is usually the primary emotion we go to when we feel attacked. The reason we do this is because we're so uncomfortable. We feel vulnerable around someone who we feel like is attacking us. So we may not mean to harm in any way. We may not say the wrong thing on purpose, but because of past occurrences, we react in a way where it actually hurts us and hurts others by accident. Thoughts occur first, and then feelings come afterwards. We attach a feeling to thoughts that we have. In other words, we always remember what someone made us feel, even if we don't quite remember what they said or did to us that hurt us. If someone else comes along that reminds us of the person who hurt us, we may become bitter towards them, coming up with all kinds of assumptions based on our past. So, for example, if you have been in an emotionally abusive relationship, and let's say you were finally able to leave the person you were with, maybe soon after you found yourself in another relationship with a person who actually cares about you. But let's say they do something or say something that reminds you of the person that you used to be with. You may associate what they're doing with the memories of the past. You begin to assume all sorts of things, and this brings up old pain. So this naturally causes you to be angry and lash out at your current partner. They may not have meant anything bad by what they were doing, but because of the feelings associated with the past, the words or actions they have done that reminds you of your past partner overwhelms you. And it can feel like your emotions are clouding your judgment because you remember the feelings. And the only feelings that you're associating with right now is the feelings of the past pain. We do this in friendships. We do this with work relationships. We do this with strangers, our children, and even ourselves. We may have a short interaction with someone, and it can be anywhere. It can be at the grocery store. And maybe they make a facial expression that seems very rude. You may internalize this and assume it was directed at you. You feel like they're thinking something about you that's bad. You begin to take things very personal, and you take it the wrong way. The person may have just been in their own thoughts. They didn't even mean anything by looking at you weird. So you feel like things become a personal attack. When we start to look around us and think that everyone outside of us has ill intentions, we become like a soldier out at war, always looking around, ready to fight, ready to take anyone down who is perceived as a threat. If we can't control our own emotions, then others will come in and control them for us. We become dependent on others for validation. We expect for others to tell us how to feel. How they tell us to feel becomes our own feelings, and then we internalize everything that happens around us. And we expect others to stay calm and be happy for us, because if they treat you well, then you think, now I can be happy. Everyone has a degree of what they can do. We can compare ourselves to others and say, well, it's really easy for someone to be happy because they're more beautiful than me, they're taller than me, more intelligent, more charismatic, etc. But when you do this, you take away from what you have. You don't see your talents, and you don't see it because you may have been put down in the past as well. You have something in you that you don't see. Now, people who have achieved success or happiness have worked with what they have in order to achieve the things they have achieved. Sometimes people attribute their success to their past pain, their past experiences, or their hard upbringing. And this also may work against them. Same things go for people who have been handed everything to them. It just depends on how you transform your own personal experiences. No one can tell us how to be happy. What makes one person happy may make another person miserable. Our own definition of happiness and what it entails requires a different set of understanding for everyone. So how exactly do you become happy? That's the question. There is no guide, no book telling you step by step how you can be happy. And if that book existed, it wouldn't even resonate the same with every single person. Some people use religion to be happy, others music. Some may only find temporary happiness in these things too, when they do the things they enjoy doing for a little bit as well. So there's a lot of variables here. Some people can even feel like they're not allowed to be happy, and many times, when we really have been abused, we really don't know how to be happy at all. We find something bad in everything, even things that seem like a good thing, so life becomes dull, boring, and uninteresting. There is no direct answer on how you can be happy. I can't just tell you that if you did this, you would start being happy right away. But the first step in finding happiness is finding healing within yourself. Because when you've been blamed and belittled your entire life, you start to blame and belittle others and yourself. So this is how the world treats you back. You don't take the time to deeply think about things and go inside of yourself and find answers to the pain that you've been exposed to. If you aren't able to take revenge on the person that hurt you, you internalize it, and this pain just begins to grow inside of you. To be happy is not necessarily an overwhelming feeling. It's not this overwhelming sense of ecstasy. It's not this super blissful, alluring sensation that happens within your body either. It's more of a state of peace. When you feel and you know that you are okay, that everything is okay, and everything will be fine no matter what. It's the actual thought of being at peace. And then this will produce feelings that accompany happiness. You will feel much more lighter, you will feel energized, and you will even feel thankful. And the best thing about it is you don't actually have to wait for anything. To say you will be happy or to put a condition on it means that you are not happy right now. So you are extending the period in which you can be happy right now. Most of the time, we feel like we can't be happy because we feel like there is something wrong within us. We label our past, we label our pain, and then we make the pain a part of our identity. Sometimes it can be very strange to say something like, there is nothing wrong with me, or I am okay, or I am capable. Most of the time, we don't feel like we deserve happiness, and we feel like we must fulfill some kind of requirements, but there are no requirements to be happy. It's free and it's waiting for you. You are not waiting for happiness to come to you. If you wait for happiness to come to you, it will never come. And this is because happiness is in fact a choice, not a consequence of events and things around us. Happiness is like going through a door. You must get up and turn the knob and actually physically go through the door. The door itself is not going to come to you and force its way upon you. The choice is in your hands. If happiness wasn't a choice, then life would not be fair whatsoever. And this is because happiness will depend on your circumstance. And this will mean that someone with better circumstances is just going to be better than you. And when you look around, it may be that others have a better life circumstance than you. So they deserve to be happier than you, or it's easier for them. Each person has a choice, and that's what makes life a level playing field. No matter the outward circumstance, you can be miserable or happy. It's not dependent on things or circumstances. It's a state of mind that you can enter or leave at any moment. It's a choice, and it will always be a choice. So make that choice within yourself with firm conviction, and then it'll be right within your grasp. And then you can invite it into your life.